Hello everyone. So here we go, my very first TYT video. Well, it's TYT politics, so it's a subcategory of TYT. But hey, still counts. The first half of the subject video is a profile of the case of Raymond Gates, who was sentenced to 9 years for rape after the crime had been live-streamed over Periscope by his friend, Marina Lorina, who also received prison time. The subject video is a kind of companion piece to the original report by TYT reporter Naomi LaChance, and shows us clips of Gates' police interview that, she says, exemplifies rape culture.
The whole thing is completely consensual. I don't see how it's not consensual. I don't like I was just like, I'm gonna do it
not
anyway.
Consensual when you're on top of her and she's flailing, saying no, quit, stop. Please don't do this.
Why did you walk up to me in the mall, ask me if you wanted to hang out, come to my house, hang out? We're sitting on my bed. She sits right beside me right here, man.
Mm-hmm.
And we start
that's on the video. Stuff.
Right. Yeah, and she sits right beside me. She takes her jacket off, indicating we start making out.
Why a crime story that does not involve politics is being profiled on TYT Politics, I have no idea. Though I suppose the line between politics and crime might be a fuzzy one over at the Young Turks. Now, save for some implications made by Naomi LaChance and her interviewer, fellow TYT associate Eric Byler, there's not much to comment on regarding the portion relating to the Gates case. So I'm going to jump ahead to where Miss LaChance and Mr. Byler begin speaking about the reaction to Naomi's report after it had been posted to YouTube. So, let's begin.
While these excuses did not help Gates in his legal defense, they can help us explore what we mean when we talk about rape culture. Listen to what Gates says.
One of the comments to the video was, as soon as I saw the term rape culture, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to watch this video. I turned it off.
Wait, what? That comment doesn't say anything of the kind. And why are you highlighting that portion of it? Let's read the whole thing, shall we? While I agree that the man is guilty and the punishment is apt, what's with this, what does it say about our society, blah blah blah, in defense of this notion of rape culture? I work in criminal law. Everyone minimizes their offending behavior, whether it's a sex crime, computer fraud, or littering. What does this have to do with rape culture? What does it have to do with a society permissive to rape culture? If the man had escaped conviction and a hefty custodial sentence, then you might have a point. Now, those are some fair points made by the commenter. I wonder if our speakers will address any of them over the course of this video. But back to the point, nothing in that comment says they turned off the video as soon as they saw it was about rape culture. So, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think the feminist movement is at a real crossroads, and I think that a lot of people are very turned off by feminism because they think of white feminism, they think of the type of feminism that Hillary Clinton puts out that's really very much focused only on a privileged minority of women.
Okay, there is a lot to unpack here. First, I just wanted to underscore that our speaker knows what people think when they hear feminism, that they think of white feminism or Hillary Clinton feminism. So, our speaker is a mind reader. And secondly, I wanted to point out that feminism wasn't the topic of the question she was asked by the interviewer. Rape culture was. But our speaker jumps to feminism when talking about rape culture, which I find very telling.
And so I think that a lot of the dislike of this type of terminology stems from that. So, you know, obviously I don't agree with saying, as soon as I saw rape culture, I turned it off.
Then you'll be very glad to know that the commenter never said that.
But I can sympathize with feeling frustrated with the movement.
Well, to me, the term basically turns all that blame back at a collective understanding of men and women. So if you're someone who has a hard time accepting responsibility, the term rape culture suggests that you have a hand, even if you never have been involved in a situation like that, because you're part of this culture, you have a role to play and a responsibility.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's step back and go over that again, because my head is spinning slightly.
Well, to me, the term basically turns all that blame back at a collective understanding of men and women.
Okay, the term rape culture turns all that blame back on a collective understanding of men and women. Blame for what? Rape?
So if you're someone who has a hard time accepting responsibility, the term rape culture suggests that you have a hand, even if you never have been involved in a situation like that, because you're part of this culture, you have a role to play and a responsibility.
If you're someone who has a hard time accepting responsibility for what? Rape? If you have a hard time accepting responsibility, rape culture suggests that you have a hand, even if you've never been involved in a situation like that, because you're a part of this culture, you have a role to play and a responsibility. So, let me see if I understand this. If someone is turned off by the term rape culture, it's because they have a hard time accepting their role and responsibility in regards to rape culture. Is that about right? If my viewers have any other more reasonable interpretations of what he just said, please leave your thoughts in the comments below.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's absolutely a structural societal critique, and there's something deeply uncomfortable, especially to politicians, about women kind of having this reproductive power.
People are uncomfortable with women's reproductive power. So, more mind reading. And we've also gone from rape culture to feminism to reproductive rights inside of 2 minutes. Ah, the joys of intersectionality.
I think there's just this deeply ingrained discomfort with the idea that a woman can kind of have the last say about what happens to her body.
You think there's a deeply ingrained discomfort. You think. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's not just with the question of consent. It's about the whole process of reproduction. Men are a lot less at the center of that than, let's say, other, like Congress, right? Or the Freedom Caucus, or the people who had the party in the Rose Garden.
Men are less at the center of the process of reproduction than women or the Congress are. Okay.
And so that's the thing, like, how do we make improvements unless there's some buy-in from men?
Some buy-in from men on reproduction? Men don't have any say when it comes to reproduction? I am very confused right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. So you're saying like how do we make this happen?
Even Miss LaChance isn't quite sure what he means.
Well, they're insecure. It's like a bunny, right? You have to sneak up on a bunny in a way that it doesn't run, right?
Yeah.
You use the term rape culture in your piece, and some people ran. So is there a way to approach it so they don't run and they actually hear?
What? Men are insecure. You need to sneak up on them like they're a bunny. She used the term rape culture, and some people ran, even though you showed no examples of this. But, okay, so are you advocating that you need to find a more palatable way of saying rape culture? I'm getting even more confused.
Yeah, I mean, I think, to me, maybe some people get defensive.
Defensive? Why would anyone get defensive when you make the blanket claim that anyone not accepting your fear-mongering means that they're contributing to a culture of rape? I just cannot imagine such a thing.
And to me, it doesn't mean all men are inherently evil. It's not a broad attack.
Rape culture. You are saying that America fosters a rape culture. How is that not a broad attack?
It's saying, okay, nobody's perfect. here are some things that you might have learned. Here's why it's important for you to be an ally.
An ally. Because what is the opposite of being an ally? I mean, why wouldn't you want to be an ally of an ideology that promotes the idea that dissent equates to endorsing rape? I mean, there can only be one reason you wouldn't want to be an ally to that, isn't there?
You said feminism is at a crossroads. I don't think feminism is at a crossroads. Feminism knows where it needs to go.
Really? It does? Oh, by all means, tell us. Because from all available information, feminists have no idea where to go. I'm sure they'll listen to a man telling them that he has the answer.
What's at a crossroads is the notion of white male privilege.
Uh-huh.
And the frustration of, holy shit, my rights are limited by the rights of others, women, people of color. And I need to come to terms with that or not.
Ah, yes. White male privilege. Privilege that white males cannot see because those with privilege cannot see that they have privilege, yet somehow white males know that their privilege is under threat, specifically by women and people of color. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in many ways, Trump's campaign was, no, you don't have to come to terms with that. We can just assert that power.
Mm-hmm.
Trump's campaign was about white male privilege, was it? Wow. And how has that gone for him? I mean, obviously, his white male privilege protects him from it all being criticized, or questioned, or subject to investigation. Yeah, white male privilege sure is an infallible force field.
How do we sneak up on the bunny and say accountability isn't a bad thing even for you?
Accountability for what? Being male? Being white? Contributing to rape by means of not agreeing with you? Who is accountable for what?
If you hear a friend say something that sort of reminds you of rape culture, it doesn't have to be you're a completely bad person. It's, okay, you've been taught this idea, and here's an idea that might be better.
Wow. So let's think about what she just said there for a moment. If you have a friend that says something that reminds you of rape culture, then you should work to correct their thinking. So someone else needs to be held accountable for the consequences of your imagination. I think that pretty much sums up what lies at the heart of the concept of rape culture. Thanks, TYT. As always, your insight has been invaluable. And, as always, thank you for watching.